So we were discussing the questionnaire. We have completed everything regarding the research proposal, and I have received only one proposal from a student, and there was no other proposal that was submitted to me. So please submit it as early as possible, maybe today. Secondly, what I want to tell you that as far as the questionnaire is concerned, it's the tool that collects each and every information that is required. So make sure that whatever objectives you have in your proposal, they must required to be fulfilled via your questionnaire. So objectives, they must be, your questionnaire must be in line with your objectives. And when it comes to the questionnaire, the initial mistake students, when they develop their questionnaire, they make that they just develop a questionnaire that can include the data of only one specimen. Let me show you an example that how things they can go wrong. I'm just sharing a new questionnaire. So here it's an information chart for the survey of domestic animals. So that must be relative that someone is working on the disease, some disease of domestic animals. So in the first heading, serial number, please incorporate the serial number with every questionnaire. Do not write, you do not need to include the names, and if you are working with humans, you do not need to include other identities. The best identity is always the serial number. Secondly, your data set must need to include the date. So serial number along with the date. Date will going to tell all that information regarding the season and all that stuff. And if you look at this questionnaire, it includes the data regarding the location, what kind of species of animal that includes, and then it's about the sex, and then breed, and then age, and then herd size, infection history, site of involvement, physical condition of animal, treatment, vaccines, other animal in close proximity, fodder type, supplement diet, area available to each animal, any other infection, washing schedule of herd, animal washing, wildlife species, predator, and all that kind of stuff. So that is very much informative questionnaire. But if I will ask you that why it's not useful when you actually go to the field, what's the disadvantage when you develop a questionnaire like this? Any volunteer, just feel comfortable and respond. Can you hear my voice? Can you hear me? Please confirm me so that I can continue. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Then please respond. What's the disadvantage of this having a questionnaire like this? As far as the information is, that is very much complete when it comes to providing the information. But still, I'm saying that it's not a good questionnaire. when you need to go to the practical field. The first limitation of this questionnaire is that it's being designed for every animal. For example, if let's suppose if the serial number is 123 and it can be any date, August 12, it's 17, 2020. Location can be Mirpur. So the person has to write each and everything. But that questionnaire, the entire questionnaire, is a 2-page questionnaire. And these 2 pages, they are dedicated to only one animal. And you have to write each and every information for every animal in a herd. So for example, if a herd has 50 animals, in that case, you need 50 copies of this questionnaire to be filled. Secondly, if you have to fill all those, it will take lots and lots of time to fill this questionnaire. And you will going to consume lots of resources if you develop a questionnaire separately for every animal. And at the end of, once the research got completed, maybe you have 2,300, 3,000 or 4,000 questionnaires to be screened. So your table will be completely filled with all those questionnaires. And you have to look for each questionnaire, each animal, and again you have to do it again. So first limitation, that field, once you will go to the field, you will going to consume more time filling that questionnaire. Secondly, the expenditure, it will be more expensive, because for every animal you have to copy a separate, you need to have a separate questionnaire for every animal. And this is all practical issues. When students, they just go blindly and then they do it. As far as the technical aspect of this questionnaire is concerned, there is no limitation with this questionnaire. That is very, very much informative. But still, it's not useful questionnaire. It is in line with the research objective, that if you look at the objective, okay, maybe the person is looking for the distribution of the disease in different localities. So as far as the location is concerned, that is informative. Maybe the person wants to know the distribution of a disease with reference to the species. So this is information. That species section will going to respond to from the data of species. The person can just check for variations with reference to the species. So in that case, it's in line with the objective. As far as sex is concerned, breed is concerned, age is concerned, so that is very, very much informative. So it's in line with the objective, but still it's not useful. Sir, what's the main difference among following terms? Please write down all those terms: research proposal, research plan, research article, research report, research design, and synopsis. So let me answer this question. Research proposal and synopsis, that means the same. Synopsis is a term that is used with reference to the thesis. So that you have to submit a research proposal, and we name it as the synopsis. And it's a compulsion that you have to submit your synopsis to the Board of Advanced Studies and get an approval from them. So they use a term of synopsis. And research proposal mean the same. Normally we submit research proposal to many institutes and they have a title of research proposal. Research proposal and the synopsis, they mean the same. Research plan is the section of material and method of your research proposal. And it can be a section that is in your thesis. It can be a section that can be in your research article. So when you use the word research plan, so it's a section of your material and methods. Research article and the research report. Normally, we use the term research report when we are reporting to some authorities. For example, someone funded a research, and then you have to submit the report of your research from time to time. So for example, if you just after the planning, once your research proposal got approved by the funding authorities, in that case, you have to submit your report from time to time. For example, in the first month, you will going to carry out the survey. So after 1 month or a couple of months, or maybe after 3 months, they will going to ask you to submit a report that how much the research has been progressed. So then in the research report, you will going to tell that what fraction of the research work is being conducted. So normally all those funding agencies, they ask for research report from time to time. And at the end, once your research got completed, then you have to submit the research report. That will be your final research report. That what are the findings of your research. And we use the word research article. I mean all those publications which we have in various journals. And they are being published in the form of research article. Research design, once again, it's a section of materials and methods. Roll number 7, is it clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Do you have any other question? Just feel comfortable.
सर थीसिस का भी बता दें कि वो किससे रिलेटेड होता है.
Thesis, you submit the thesis after your research is being finalized. That includes the section of abstract, that includes the section of introduction, review of literature, materials and methods, and then you have your results. Then you have to share the results, and then you have discussion and summary.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So we were discussing the questionnaire. So you have to. It's practically not a very much a useful questionnaire. Because if you have 50 animals in a herd, you have to fill out all those 50 questionnaire for each animal. And initially, when the student develop a questionnaire, they go on with that technique and they never look back. And once, even after spending lots and lots of money, once they have all those questionnaires, still it takes a very long time to enter that data in any of the software. So once again, it will eat more time once after, even if you have collected all those information on these questionnaire, you adopted an expensive approach, still at the end, what will going to happen that it will eat more time when you will enter the data in your questionnaires. So you need to be smart with reference to the questionnaire that you take to the field. And one strategy, I will give you another example of the questionnaire that includes all that kind of information. But still it will eat less time, and it will be less expensive. A new questionnaire is visible on your screen. Please confirm me.
Yes, sir.
If you look at this questionnaire, it includes all those information which we discussed, which will looked in the previous. I mean, it can be more or less. I do not know is it the same questionnaire, but information is more or less it's the same. But what's the advantage of having a questionnaire like this? So once again, it's about a Sarcop's disease. It's a disease of domestic animal. It's an ectoparasite. So you do not need to know about that disease, but for a very limited period of time, that it's about a disease in domestic animal. Once again, a very similar kind of question. If you look here, one thing is here you have a survey number, so that's a general that it's first, second, third, or it depends. And then you have a locality surveyed, and then you have a date, and then you have herd species, and then you have herd number, and then you have herd size, and then you have a total infected, and then you have total normal. This is a questionnaire that is based on a herd. So for example, instead of writing locality survey to the 50 different questionnaire, it's a single questionnaire that is telling that, okay, the entire data belongs to the locality of Mirpur. Instead of writing the date on all those 50 questionnaires, it's a single date that you will going to mention that, okay, it's a survey on August 2020, August 17, 2020. As far as the herd species are concerned, instead of writing herd species in each and every questionnaire, because each herd must have the same kind of species. So for example, it's sheep and goat in a herd. So just write down sheep and goats, and then everything will be uniform for all those 50 animals. As far as the herd number is concerned, I mean it's let's suppose it's 76, so it will be uniform for the entire herd. If in a herd there are 50 animals, they will be 50 for every animal. So the herd size will be, so these are the information that were common for every animal in a herd. And then you have a totally infected, for example, if you have 15 animals infected, so it will be, and then you have information that how many of them they are normal. Let's suppose 35 they are normal. So once you fill that, you do not need to write again and again for all those 50 animals. And that strategy will be efficient. And then here you can include serial number 1. So it's animal number 1. Let's suppose it's 1. And then what about, maybe it's a goat or a sheep. And then here you can write down just male. Age, let's suppose 1 year. Infected or normal, it's infected. Site of involvement, it can be, let's suppose, on the head. Infection history, maybe it's about 3 days. Any treatment, yes or no. Area available for animal, let's suppose it's 2 meter available. Any wildlife species, yes or no. And then you have a GPS reading. And then eventually in the next row, you will have the data of another animal. Just on a single page, you can have an information of maybe 10 to 15 animals. Once you will going to leave a herd, and maybe you have a data of 50 animals and you have only 2 pages on that are being covered. Very efficient, very rapid way. So you can mention the other form which I previously showed you in your thesis, that this is a questionnaire. But once you go to the field, you have to just be smart and try to develop a questionnaire that is very, very much efficient, and it takes a very little time. Because in the field, you do not have lots and lots of time. Have you got my point, what I tried to explain? Is it clear? Is it clear? Any question?
No, sir.
So once you have entered all that, so first your questionnaire must be in line with the objectives. So please just look at one-to-one objective and then look at your questionnaire. For example, my first objective is to find out the prevalence of a disease in domestic animal. So I just need to look here that where I can get that data that will going to answer the question of that. I mean, that will going to be in line with that objective. So here with this information, total infected and total normal. From here I can get the prevalence of the disease. If my second objective is about association of various factors with the disease. So as far as factors are concerned, from here I can see the association of breed, and then I can see the association of gender, I can see the association of age, I can see the association of, these three questions. As far as I can see the association of the season, I can see the association of the locality with the disease. So these are 5 factors where I see the association of the disease with them, and they are all epidemiological factors. So if in your objective you have a question like this, that you want to know about the water source. What do I mean by the water source? That the kind of water that is offered to the animal. Are the animal drinking there from some river, or they are drinking from some canal, or they have groundwater, or they have some another source? So for example, if your question objective is regarding the water, this questionnaire will not going to give any information regarding this. So that means you missed objective. The only purpose to stress it again and again. Just please match your objectives with the questionnaire. The questionnaire must need to provide each and every information that is required for your objective. If any of information is missing, in that case you cannot justify that objective, and you will not have the information regarding that objective, and in that case the people, they will going to raise serious questions, and maybe they will going to reject your research. Although lots and lots of students, they simply ignore when they are developing the questionnaire the fact that how much important this is, and at the end of their research they are in crisis, and that time they cannot do anything. So many research projects, research of students, projects of students, they got rejected only due to the reason that they do not have a relevant information that was required for their objective, and then they ask them to reconduct the entire survey again. So as you are enrolled in a research degree program, so be very, very careful, because you will not have any second chance in this regard. That your objectives your questionnaire must be in line with your objective, and must need to fulfill each and everything that is required must need to have information for each and everything. Look for one-to-one that is required for your objectives. Whether you will going to conduct a highly specialized research, or that involves many many advanced modern equipments, or it's a survey. At the end, what you will have an information on your questionnaire. So that it's very, very important to design a questionnaire that is sufficient for your objectives of your study. For example, if a single information, you just need to understand the importance, significance of this. That, for example, if the total number is missing, and you have information only about the infected animals, in that case, you will fail to calculate the prevalence. And even in your objective, you mentioned about the prevalence. In that case, the other person will going to ask you that you need to have the data regarding the normal animals, and you at that time you do not have a data regarding the normal animals. Especially with reference to the diseases, I have personally seen students who just bring the data and they have lots and lots of questions. And some of the most important question is missing from their questionnaire, around which their entire research revolves, and they just ignore that kind of stuff. And then we ask them to reconduct the entire study. Is it clear? Is it clear? Do you have any question regarding this? Do you have any question regarding this?
No, sir.
Now, once you have data collected, in the next step, what you need to do is to export that data or enter that data in some softwares. Sir, just I have an official call. Just give me a couple of minutes so that. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the Microsoft Excel file is visible on your screen with the title of data example.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I cannot share two different stuff together, so I will not going to, I cannot share the questionnaire itself, so I'm just telling you. For example, sometimes the student, they do another mistake, that as they use a separate questionnaire for every animal, so they enter a separate data for this. For example, if they will going to enter that, if it is serial number 1 to 3, and here you will have information that okay, it's as far as the, so they will going to write it like this: serial number, then its gender, then age, season. So let's suppose they will going to enter like this, and then in this way it will keep on moving in the entire column. So they have only couple of columns here. So once that data will be finished, from here they will going to go to a new sheet, and then for the second questionnaire they will going to enter the data, and in this way they will keep on entering the data. All those entry will, they will be wrong, and then you have to re-enter the entire data once again. So we have uniform, a schematic way how we can enter the data. You have only two options. Either you want to go in columns or you want to go in rows. Most of the time, people, they enter the data in columns. So the first column is the serial number, and then in the second column you have information regarding the species. Third column, age. So all those questions you have to write in the first row. If they are 20, 30 questions, write down the all questions in, so in a single row. So first question serial number, second question species, third question age, fourth question age group, fifth question gender, season, altitude, disease, and then maybe you have like this questions like this: treatment, and then location of infection, and then history of infection. So write down all those questions in a single row, and then start entering your data set. So for example, if it is about animal number 1, so first it's a first animal. So here it's dummy variable. Sometimes you have to replace, for example, if around the species, maybe if you have two species, one is the goats and other one are sheep. So in your research, you have only two species involved. So normally when it comes to the Microsoft Excel, when you are going to use all those words, sometimes they are required to convert into the dummy number. So here you can give some number to them, so that you need to have a code of that data set. So here in this data set, for example, 0 refers to the goats and 1 refers to the sheep. And here separately you have to mention that the code of species. Maybe if someone has carried out age, these are all ages in real numbers. Maybe if someone has age group, so it can be like as far as the age groups are concerned, so there is possible that the animal is young, or it's possible that it's an adult. So if they have only two classes, so here they will going to represent them with dummy numbers. 0 refers to the 1 and 1 refers to the adults. But for here, you need to have all those codes that are written separately, so that if someone will going to look at it, he must need to understand that what the 0 belong and what the 1 belong. So for data entry, some people they use these dummy codes. Some people they use these real numbers, real names: goat, sheep. So instead of 0, 1, you can write down the sheep, and then you can write down goats completely. But there is one disadvantage of this. when you will going to, instead of using those dummy codes, you will going to use these dummy numbers, or you will going to use these real names. There is one strict disadvantage. That's why a lot of people, they do not prefer to use the real names, rather they use codes for them. What's the disadvantage? For example, if you will going to write down the complete name, so it's goat here, and for example, it's about that if it is data regarding the species. So if it is, one thing is goat, at another time maybe they will have used the capital word and there is a typing mistake and they just mention a goat with a capital G, and then maybe at some time they will going to use some error in the mistake, so they will going to write down like this goat. Somewhere there is possible that instead of goat they mention goats. Maybe it's written as goat but with a space, and by mistake they just mention the space. So I'm just adding a couple of values from the sheep. So I just added those sheep. If I will going to go there, as Microsoft Excel is sensitive of the case sensitive. What do I mean by the case sensitive? That if something is capital, it will read it as capital. If something is small, it will read it as small. If you have entered a space, it will make it different from the original value. So if I will going to generate a table, and I will going to select my data source, and I generate a table from this. Here I have only two things. One are the goats and other one are sheep. And if I will going to generate that table and I have lots and lots of data set, what will going to happen? That once that table got generated, what it will going to do? I just need to dislocate it. And if I want to just move those species to those count number of species, and then along with the species, if I will going to have all those fields, so here I just need another variable to make it more appropriate. So it's like 0 1 0 1 1. 0 refers to the infected and 1 refers to the normal. So I'm just doing it in front of you. And this is all data that is gathered from the table. So I will going to just move it. So if I was using this data, if I was going to generate a table, what will going to happen? I just want to show you. So here I have couple of stuffs. One refers to as goat and other one refers to as sheep, and then I just look here what the table has told me. That as far as the observations are concerned, it considered goat separately. That was space. So it's telling me that there is one identity that is goat with a space here. It's giving me another identity that is goat here. That's goats. It's being separately mentioned. Once again, there was something different from that goat and that goat. So once again, it showed me separately, and then once again, it's showing me separately. So all those typing mistakes, they are not being corrected. So as Microsoft Excel is case sensitive, so what has happened that it has created all those different categories. Although in genuinely there were only two categories, either they were sheep and they were goats. So they were all required to be uniform. So if I was going to copy the first reading as entire and then I will going to keep it as it is. So then I will going to show you if I will going to insert the table. So here it will. So I have to remove my previous table, all that data of previous table, and now if I was going to insert a table, if you look here, if now I will going to enter here, I get goats and sheep. So if you want to write the real number, you must be case sensitive and you have to make sure that there should not be any typing mistake. But as no one can avoid the typing mistake, there is always a possibility when you have data of hundreds and thousands of, that includes hundreds and thousands of entry, there is always a possibility that someone can make a mistake. In order to avoid those mistakes, we normally give codes and we just write down those codes. And when you are coding that data, in that case, either you are going to use 0 and 1, 0 refers to the goats and sheep. In that case, there is a very little chance that you have committed any mistake. But if you can precise, if you can show the precision, in that case, you can use these real numbers. There is no issue regarding this. So first, in the first step, you have to just write down, in the first row, you have to mention all those questions that are present in your data set. And then your second row will be the entry of your first animal. It's a serial number first. It's a goat species, let's suppose. It's 4-year-old. It's adult. It's a male. It's from the monsoon. With an altitude of 1, maybe they have 1, 2, 3, 3 different altitudes on which the data was collected, and the 0 refers to a normal animal. And here you have an entry of second animal, and then you have third animal. And in this way, each of these rows, they correspond to a different animal. And in this way, your entire data set is being assembled together in a single Excel sheet that do not involve more than one Excel sheet. So once you have a data in this form, in that case, it will be very easy to analyze. And here you have a separate code. So if I just want to develop any table, it will be 1 minute story for me. I just need to go to the pivot table, and then I just, if I want to see the association of the species with the disease, I just need to check my species, and then I just need to check my disease. So if you, as far as the species are concerned, there are 298 goats there, if 0 corresponds to the goats, and there are 313 that are sheep. And in total, I have 611 animal data of 611 animals. So it will be very, very easy. So once you have entered all those data, please enter. So in this way, you have to keep on entering all those data sets. So in that last section, I will going to enter a new data, a new observation. So for example, if it finishes at this, for example, I have the last animal. So I will have a separate serial number. So here they do not have any space for the serial number, so I will ignore it. So it's either any, let's suppose it's a goat, it's 2 years old, so I will going to write down 2 years, and then maybe it's from a specific altitude. So let's suppose if it is 2, I will write down 2. If it is 0, I will going to write down 0. If it is 2, I will write down, and in this way I have a new entry. So every row corresponds to a different animal. So in this way, your entire data will be represented in a single sheet, and all those questions, they are in line. So once you have entered your data set, please do not try to sort that data into ascending or descending order. If you want to carry out any treatment, that's a very, very important thing. Please do not use your original file. If you want to do something else, because there is a possibility that you are going to commit a mistake, and at the end of the day, maybe you will going to lose your original raw data. Do not perform any analysis on your original file. Keep a copy of that file on which you have data entry carried out separately, and then use a new place if you want to carry out any treatment. So I just copied it and just save it separately, so that you do not need to enter your entire data again, and now from there you can carry out any analysis. Do you have any question regarding this?
No, sir.
Okay. So now I'm going to end the meeting, and I wish you very good luck for your paper.